Okay, are we online? Are we online? All right. So, good evening. Hello, hello, my viewers, if there are any. Okay. So, I finally grinded out the rest of the dockyard, got me enough steel to buy me the Mecklenburg, and so far she's been giving me some great numbers in the last few games I've been playing. I'm gonna get into why that's been for a while. In a while, so the commander is still not up to par yet, but we're getting there, I think. So, since brawl season for tier 10 is over, we can just go into randoms and play like any other battleship in this game, really, but for entirely different reasons. Okay, so what I experienced with her going to brawls, I just dev struck a Minotaur. Just she just got very curious, popped out of the island, and it just so happened that 16 of my guns were pointed at her, all loaded with AP, and just blapped her into oblivion. So in randoms, it's gonna play a bit different. I still have this sort of hybrid build on the Mecklenburg. I usually play all my German battleships as some sort of brawler, even with the Preußen. The Preußen, she has what I've mentioned before, really fast reloading guns for the caliber, 457 millimeters, 8 guns, and they reload at about 21, 22-ish seconds. The Mecklenburg is a bit different in that regard. So she has 16 guns, 4 in each turret, and she has 4 turrets, two front and 2 back. So what she excels at is actually playing like a cruiser. A massive, massive cruiser. Okay, see, she has 16 305 millimeter guns, so that's not the best caliber to have in this tier. But 305s that reload in 22 seconds and can reach 22 kilometers away. That's pretty sizable actually. So what we're going to aim here for is to have some to take opportunistic shots at enemies with exposed sides. So the scary bit here is that they have an enemy secure you. The Mecklenburg does have the FAA, but she doesn't have the best AA gun overall. And we have a Stalingrad on our team, so that's not going to supply us with the best AA on this side of the map. So yeah, what we can hope for is stay at the back, take opportunistic shots, and say for example this Yamato. I think he's completely unaware of my presence. So I just had to turn out a bit. Let's go at half speed to throw off their aim. That's usually how it goes. We're just taking lessons from the Hindenburg, really. Um, okay, the enemy destroyer is a bit aggressive in this regard. Okay, so there's the Preußen. She's a big target. We can aim for her from that far, I bet. So, see what I mentioned about throwing off their aim. Usually battleship players will assume that the enemy is going at full tilt, full speed. And there we go. We landed a beautiful salvo on her. Didn't land all shots, but it's the thought that counts. And what we're aiming here for is to just spam our HE. Like I said, we're playing like a cruiser. And I think the Preußen adjusted to our tactics now, and that they're really aiming for us now. But that's still German dispersion. I don't think they're gonna... Stalingrad is getting some good hits in, but the Preußen not so much. Okay, so that Stalingrad will be distracted with those. Okay, so what I can tell is that we have a destroyer spotting us. Our team's Fletcher is not doing such a good job of providing some counter spotting against that enemy destroyer. And the enemy destroyer is getting a bit gutsy with throwing some torps at us. Oh, he really predicted me. Okay, so I think we're gonna eat at least one hit. That's not the worst thing that could happen, but hey. Okay, at least there's no flooding. And we have planes going for us. Okay, that's fun. Which is fine, which is fine. The enemy is still very much in range of our guns. We don't need to overexert ourselves or extend. I think the Yamato's just trying to take it slow back there. What we do want is for the enemy to push in. The enemy Poison isn't doing that. It's taking a very cautious stance against us, which is good on him actually. Okay, so what I mentioned about the German HE before still holds here. It still has better penetration compared to most HE shells, in exchange for worse alpha, which is smaller damage. So what you get is a very consistent penetration, very consistent penetrations from the Poison gun, from German HE basically. Okay, so what I can see is that the enemy destroyer is still spotting us. Okay, let's just throw off their aim a bit. There we go. Okay. If our allies could be so kind. Okay, 6 hits. So that was an Ostergotterland. Okay, the one thing that I'll fault the Mecklenburg for is that she doesn't have the typical German hydroacoustic search you'd expect from most German ships. Really, she's great in a lot of things, but she has a few missing bits and pieces that would really complete her in a sense. Or rather, I'm not sure. Okay. So that's fine, that's fine. They could just feed into my... Okay, this is not so good. These are sap shells, and they hurt a lot. Okay, at least this is a poison that's an easy target. Normally I'd want to shoot AP at it, but again, 305 is not a great caliber for this tier. So we have to settle for HE, which is not really all that bad, considering that we have improved penetration on our HE. But I'm really getting bullied by the enemy team. They just think I'm an easy target, which I am, admittedly. But you win some, you lose some. Personally, I like the Mecklenburg during my brief stint in Brawls, just last night. I should have played this a bit more. What do you say? Well, I didn't have much support going on from that flank, so I guess it could be forgiven. Should have played it a bit more defensively, I suppose. But just earlier, I had a game that got me about what 160,000 damage. It's really the thing about these games is that where you want your tanks to be, that's also where you want a lot of your snipers to be at 2. Because while you are tanking for your team, you can just you can just hope that your Yamatos and your Bongos could pick up on the strat and snipe away at the enemy. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And these are something that I learned from playing lightly playing League of Legends is that you can't win all games because you're just 1/5 of the team. You can't carry the entire team on just your character alone. And same goes for here. You can't carry the entire team on just one battleship in a game that normally feels 12 against 12. I'm just 1/12 of the force. So what I think I'll be doing here is try to go to the C flank. Going down B is not really recommended. I'm trying to avoid enemy battleship fire if at all possible. I do my role best when I do it like something like a Conqueror or a Thunder or something like that. Something that sits in the back, tries to farm the enemy with fires. And yeah, because that's the German HE advantage. You have better penetration with your HE. I think this is about 27% chance. Yeah, 27% chance of fire. So it only takes about one turret to cause a fire. So that's 104% chance. And you have 4 turrets. If you land every shot, you theoretically have 400% fire chance, which is rare. You can start 3-4 fires on enemy battleship, but it's the rough and dirty calculations. What you can expect is that if you land 4 or more hits, you can start 1 fire on the enemy, which if they're or something like Russian battleships that have a limited number of charges on their repair team, or rather damage control, they'll be burning through those charges fast. And hello, what do we have here? How are you going to turn? And there we go. That's a follow-up shot. It's going to turn outwards and just very nearly. Okay, I'm afraid for our Moskva, but I think he knows what he's doing. I think I'm gonna gun for this Colombo. They're very predictable battleships, I think. Battleships have a tendency to turn out. I'm not going to gun for this St. Vincent, because I know it's British. Yeah, I just landed 2 hits. Because I know it's British and it's just going to reprint most of the HE damage I deal it. But this Colombo is not. So I think we have our priorities now. The Guden Liu is kinda covered now. I wouldn't have to worry about it too much. The Commissar is a good target though. Why the Commissar? Because it's a sort of kind of CV, if you can call it that. But it's too far and it's too small of a target. I think the better target to make here is St. Vincent. He already has fires going on for him, so let's just aim for that. If he decided to heal, it's fine. We're still dealing our alpha. And I think we landed clean 3 shots out of 16. Not bad. Could be better. We better make this shot fast. Okay. So we got that Colombo. The St. Vincent's going to remain in our range. And I also think... Did the Colombo hold still or something? Okay. Or is he backing up? I can't tell. Okay. You can tell if they're backing up if there's the waves breaking on their at the back. Right now, I think he's moving forward, which is an indicator that we can give a bit of a chase. That's fine. German battleships have unlimited charges on their control, on their damage control. So normally you would spit these out when we're at about what 2 fires, 3 fires. That's a tricky Hindenburg play, I'm seeing. So okay, the Shimakase is spotting me, so I don't have any opportunities to go dark. A Colombo though, I think I can make a shot. See what I mentioned earlier. The St. Vincent just reprints a new ship. That's how magical their repairs are. Yep. Okay. 4 shots. Okay, and that's the Commissar. Bit of an annoying ship. Now they're just bullying me at this point. Okay, so better go dark. Not give them any more to shoot. I think our team over at the A flank should just try pushing in a little. I mean, it shouldn't be too much of a problem for them. They have like what? 1, 2. They have like 5 ships versus the enemy 3. It shouldn't be a problem for them. Okay. My repairs are going off cooldown, so we should be just teensy bit more patient here. Although I don't although the thing here about fighting at range, the enemy will also be lobbing HE shells at you, which is all well and good actually, because if they're firing HE shells at you, I really should be firing AP at the St. Vincent. I don't know. Wait, I know I am not doing that. Wait, let's switch over to HE after this shot. Where was I? Okay, normally you'll be lobbing HE shells at each other from this kind of distance. But if you're going up against something broadside, no matter how sturdy their side armor may be, they'll still get blapped by AP. It just depends on... Do they all land? Okay, so... See, that's... that's sort of kind of the annoying thing with AP. Is that you don't get consistent numbers. You can try. Really, you can. Okay. See, penetrations are good. You know the numbers that are coming out of them. When you're firing AP, even though you have higher alpha, basically, you don't get the consistent numbers that you're hoping for. So hopefully this Colombo takes a hit, and takes a hit. 2 hits. So I'm not really doing my best damage here. I don't have a lot of great targets, it seems. And I'm stuck playing passively too. I can't push in like I want to. Yeah, there we go. 10 hits. And with fires. Alright. Or just 1 fire. So now this Colombo will start angling towards me, but that's not going to help. I'm firing HE at you, my guy. And the reload on the Mecklenburg really helps. Just that, again, you're using a German ship. Accuracy isn't to be expected from German ships. They really shouldn't be expected from Germans. Okay, at this distance, I am going to happily switch to AP. Because really, who's paying attention to me? Except probably that Yamato. But even then. Ooh, damn. Okay. Okay, so that was a really chunky hit. What best to do here now? Probably go dark. We don't want to get too many hits. That Moskva, well, I better tell him to get the fuck out of there. Cruiser, get back. Okay, so since I'm expecting to sink anytime soon now, I'm just gonna fire and try to help my team as much as I could before we die. Like really, that's the best thing you can do as a dying ship. Yeah. Okay, there we go. And I think the okay, there we go. Okay, that should be it. Okay. Okay, so why am I spotted? I am no longer spotted. Okay, I can take a small break here. Wouldn't do as much of anything really. But what we're going to do here is there's the only things that could attack me are this Colombo from this side of the map, and I don't. Okay, so yeah, I read that right. This Colombo. Okay, so I think he's going to start angling towards me, which is fine. He just fired his guns. I'm not expecting any counter fire from him anytime soon. Okay. Enemy Oregon aiming for us. Yeah. Pretty much expected. He'll be firing at me, but I think our Venezia will be safe for a bit. Okay. So I think I did decently well. Not amazing. But we just secured a winning chance for our team. Or rather, we forced the enemy into a position that they just ceded the B cap. Okay. We're still holding on to the B cap. The Colombo's still burning, which is good. It's recovering, but any damage is still damage. That's my take on things. Okay. What we do want to see here is for the Bongo to push in, go to the A cap. Wait, let me just for the Bongo to push in, go to the A cap. The enemy commissar's really not in the game now. He's going to try and use planes for the rest of the game, I guess. And okay, our Venezia died. What did I tank for, my guy? But still, that's 100k damage I did. Close to it, I guess. Okay. So, okay. If we read the map for a bit, okay, it's fine. The Nevsky has the right idea, but maybe a bit of an error in execution. Because if the commissar spots him with planes, It's a Russian ship. I don't expect it. I don't expect it to have the best. Okay, best side armor, but with how he's approaching it, it's really good. Okay, the Oregon doesn't have radar, so it should be easy for the Holland to harass it. Where is it? Okay, should be easy for the Holland to harass it. And exactly what he's doing. Okay, so the Oregon's turning out. Wrong direction. Shouldn't have gone there, buddy. But he was spooked by the torpedoes. Made the right move, probably even. But either way, it's a mistake. He's gonna get fired at, and fired at he got. Okay. The Colombo ate the torpedo. Great. The Holland could just keep up this sort of harassment campaign against the Colombo. The Colombo's not gonna catch on. My experience with the Z52 tells me that much. The problem is the Holland is probably playing a bit passively here. What I think he should have done is that go into somewhere here like I6 and circle around just for a chance to take the C cap. But either way, it's his game. And the Colombo made the mistake of not turning out. He could have taken the B cap. So remember what I said about the Nevsky not having the best side armor? It's really punishing him in ways now. The Commissar picked up on that. No one's firing at the Commissar. That's a problem. Yeah. At least the Colombo's playing stupid. He's not trying to take the cap. He has smoke. He's not trying to take the cap. Yep. And what we have is, I think that's from the Wisconsin. Okay, good. The Commissar having some ideas of taking the B cap, but that's going to fail. Our team has a bongo. I would have said had. Had a bongo. We have a bongo in this cap. That's trying to angle weirdly towards the. Okay, I'm not even sure what's going on anymore. Okay, Commissar totally unaware of the Holland. Does the Commissar even have radar? No, it does not. It has planes but no radar. So the danger here will be gets its planes. But even so, I don't think it's going to be a problem for the Holland. The Holland has impossibly strong AA for a little destroyer like it. Okay, I think we're winning this game, but let's not be too optimistic about that. The enemy Yamato hanging back here, being a good sniper for the team. Really, I don't mind Yamato's playing much more like this, but they really have to pick up their weight as a sniper if they want to play like this. Because if you're not a good sniper, see this Yamato knows what he's doing. If you're not a good sniper, you should be playing a bit more, a bit closer, I would say. If you can't land those good shots, just come in closer. Okay. Fantastic game for the Zhao. Will he get a 6? I remember my biggest game was on the Gneisenau, if I remember correctly. It was like on the Gneisenau, the Tier 7 German Tech 3 battleship. I had 7 kills, if I remember. Yep, 7 kills. It is such a good ship for the tier. Because it has big guns, decent reload, I'd say. The thing about the Ganaizen now, though, is that it has some very useful torps for the tier. So, 6 kilometer torps isn't such a big thing in tier 10, especially on a battleship. But when you're at tier 7 and you regularly get into blows with the enemy ships, some destroyers even, you can just pop them with surprise torpedoes. Good job on this compliment.
指揮官、よくやったわね。
Okay, so it wasn't all that bad. I'm expecting to be ranked a little. So let's just get used to this playstyle. I'm not super familiar with this ship. I just got it yesterday. Uh, let's keep playing. I'm having a fantastic time on this ship. Because this is not the kind of gameplay you normally play with a German battleship. Normally you try to get into mid-range, about 14, 15, 16 kilometers away from the enemy. That's where your guns really shine. Because at long distance, you'll be firing AP shells against ships that have strong deck armor, but at closer ranges, where their side armor is slightly more exposed, or rather, that's where the ballistics will go. You really can shine in those situations. It's just that it's a bit weird on the Mecklenburg since you have such small guns for such a large battleship. 16305s are small, but they reload fast. It's kind of like a Rhodes Island if you think about it. Okay, so what can we tell about our team? Hakoryu, I would say, is effectively. I would say it's a bad it's a bad carrier unless they're really good with their torps. I would say Japanese carriers are only really good with their torps. Their bombers and their rockets not so good. The enemy has an Essex, which is actually a lot better compared to our Hakoryu, but let's see how they play out. We have a Montana, Yamato, and a Vermont on our team, so they'll be sniping from the back row. I will be joining them in sniping from the back row. I think I'll try and go behind this island. I think that's the best move we can make it at this point in the game. 22 kilometer range is really not all that bad, especially when you're firing HE. AP damage is usually dependent on how fast the shells are traveling at, and when they're already plunging, they've already lost a lot of their power at that point, I'd say. Where is this Iowa going? Okay, so I think he slowed down for us. I'm really not getting where he's trying to go. I fire torps at you, my guy. Okay, so let's hold off on using our planes for a while. I think the best move we could make is try to get in close, be one of the crowd. We also have a Colombo on our team, so he's gonna be playing a bit mid-range, I think. The Colombo Russian battleships, I'd say to some extent, and German battleships. Well, Italians, Russians, and German battleships tend to play around at that mid-range. The thing about Russian battleships is that they have really powerful AP. And also they have this strange little bonus where their accuracy increases the closer they get. So I think this should be this is about the range we're looking for. Okay, so there's an enemy Schlieffen. He's trying. He best plays late game. Okay, those are 4 hits in. No fire started yet, but we're gonna get there. Okay, just as long as this lava remains open. Did they get his engine? I think they got his engine. Okay, so now we have a Chanjin. Okay, no one's pushing in, which is not 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 extraordinary, I'd say. Higher tier games is usually just camping, picking a spot to camp at, and just hoping for the best. We need spotting, so yeah, I don't know why our Hakuryu's really way back there. I'd appreciate it if his planes went a bit faster. That's something German carriers can do. They can sit in the back, they have really fast planes. Okay, so now the Slava is out of our range. The Chanjin is pushing in. I really wish I loaded AP, but that's fine. No one's going to shoot us from here. Okay, I think the Yamato picked up on us. Yeah, those shells are headed for us. We are turning out. Okay, so now the Yamato made itself a target. So we just snipe him from about here, and kablamo! Okay. So he wasn't too happy about that. See, unless you're doing citadels consistently, you're really not. Oh, who am I to speak? Okay, so unless you're doing citadels consistently, you really should just stick to HE. Is what I would say. 5 hits, okay, not bad. Yamato, we're gonna. Yeah, okay. There's a Schlieffen that I should have HE loaded for. So now they're gonna change their attention. They're gonna pin it on us. Which is... See? Those are guns pointed straight at us. Which is not bad. Remember, we want the tank. It's just that you have 8 AP loaded. I'm gonna angle away from you. You're not going to land those good hits. Okay. Still hurts, but it's not the end of the world. And there we go. That's... What the fuck is that Schlieffen doing? Okay, let's just wait for him to either go dark, and he went dark. Either go dark, and he's going to be forced to fire something. Okay. That's something at least. Nothing is spotting us from 22 kilometers, so... Them's the brakes. Really can't. Nah. Really can't. No? Hey. Can I? Oh, I can. I can plunging fire him. Okay. So I'm going to ask our CV to do... Yeah. Okay. See. Not good. Not the best. Over penetration's not really something you want. Oh hey, there's a drop. But I'm more interested in this Schlieffen. So it just really sends him a message. Get out of there. So yeah, okay. Now that there's no Schlieffen to be bombed. Okay. Really such a bad angle. Okay. I even have my planes on. Okay, so what we're going to expect from this game is that our gearing will continue to harass the enemy side of the map. And that, yeah. Let's just fire these. The Taihang. Or the Unri. It's really... Okay, so now we're hidden again. Really such riveting gameplay. Okay, so we have that going on for us. The Taihang is really unaware. I think we can push him in a bit. Not a good thing to be running into rocks. Okay, that's one hit out of 16. Really, given how it's so normal for German battleship guns to be inaccurate, I should be thankful I'm even landing a hit. And this time we'll be assisting with the capture. Not something you really get to do often in the battleship. Unless you're the last man in. So my job now will be stay quiet, be hidden in 13.9 kilometers of sheer absolute deadly. There. Okay. Oh no. I am discovered. And the enemy trump is gonna have 16 okay. You? Okay, we have BFAA. Should use that. We have repair teams. Should use that. Just hit me. Hit me. Hit me harder. Okay, so we got 8 planes out of there. Out of them. That's fine. I am not sure how this Sejong is going to respond, but my shells were unseen. And does he have... Yeah, he's throttle juking. So he's gonna fire at us. We have 5 seconds to remain completely safe until we can... Okay, there we go. We have now captured this cap. Okay. Really, 305s are a bit difficult to aim. Or from my experience. Really not having the best accuracy here. Especially from enemies that are facing away. Although I should be... Okay. That's the enemy Essex. We should try to at least nail them with AP. Okay. There we go. 9 hits. Not terrible. Okay. We're just going to support each other with some good AA. That's how friends do it. Okay, so there we go. Okay. This is a situation where I think retreating would be the good move. Because they are... the points are not in their favor. Okay, I will retract somewhat what I said about the Hakuryu. The Hakuryu has been doing such a fantastic job at supporting our team that an apology is necessary. Okay. Did I land push on something? Okay, so now that the game's pretty much over for them, they're coming out of the smoke. They played a bit too passively. That's where they got it wrong, I think. And then yeah, this sort of aggression should have come out earlier. So I know he's going to throttle Julie. So I'm just aiming for half. See? See? And even so, okay. Still, that's 4 hits. Okay, now he's going to start up, and he's going to stop. Okay, start up, and going to stop. Okay. What this fucker doesn't know is that he's facing 16 305mm. Okay. We won. Get that. Okay. Not my best showing, but I'm learning.
指揮官、よくやったわね。ご褒美欲しい？
Hey, still in the upper half. And Hakuryu, I owe you a compliment. Okay. Gearing was really aggressive in that game. I owe him a compliment too. Okay. I think I should break in a few more games. I probably call it after this one. Or probably the next. Whatever the case may be. Okay, so it's an only battleships game. In this kind of game, it's usually all on the destroyers, where we have to support our destroyers no matter what. Thankfully, we have... The problem here is that if the Yoyang smokes and the Shimakase picks up on it and sends storms along their way, it's going to be a rough time for them. But what we can do is that, okay, I'm on the submarine flank, which is not all that better for me. Actually, both flanks have a submarine. Is that going to be a problem for the Yoyang? The Yoyang has a radar. Wait, no. It doesn't have a radar. I was thinking of the... Which was it? There's a Chinese destroyer that has radar. Seriously, I thought the Yoyang had radar. They chose Torp Reload? Is that... okay? Or engine boost? I'm not really familiar with the Chinese loadouts. I've only really played German ships, if you haven't noticed yet. A lot of veteran players say that German battleships, they got power crept out of the game like ages ago. But hey, I'm here to... I'm an enthusiast. Let's just put it like that. That's what I really like about the German battleships, is that they've been engineered for such a specific reason with such specific design. How do you call it? Design philosophy. That it really makes you wonder how how it all came together. Because British naval war, how do you call it? British naval war treatises focused a lot more on speed and offense. They had really big guns on really fast ships. That's their ethos basically. Germans had a strange way to approach it though. Okay, so if our U2501 is picking up on that, sorry, I don't have a great angle. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so the British ethos of is focused on speed and maneuverability. Germans had some very different thoughts about the matter. In terms of design philosophy, the Germans had the Germans very specifically designed their ships to be as strong and sturdy as they could make them, which is actually it makes sense for the time because for one they really didn't respect the Washington Naval Agreement. So the Washington Naval Agreement had limitations on how big ships could be, and so that limited how big guns could be in that regard. So well, okay, so let's explore that idea a little more. Uh, ships are typically designed around the guns. Bigger guns require a bigger ship. That's why we have historical examples for that. The battleship Yamato was the biggest battleship for her time, and appropriately so because she was designed to house the biggest guns of her time, 460 millimeters. And they weren't just any ordinary guns. They developed different types of ammunition for her too, like the honeycomb or beehive shot, which was designed for anti-aircraft. I think it was called the honeycomb or beehive shot. It really, my memory isn't as good as it used to be. Okay, and the enemy is spamming their HE bombers at me for some reason. What is going on? How many? Good on you. Okay, it's fine. Just give me more place to shoot at, will you? Not good. And even after all that, okay, so I should retreat for a bit. This is not a good game for me. I can charge in recklessly, like I often so like doing. That 2 fires isn't all that bad, really. Okay. So, what's going to go here? What's going to happen here is I am going to run. Run for the hills, I will. Who the fuck is spotting me, though? I don't think this is such a good game for me, though. Okay. Now to remain hidden. That was not good. Not good at all. I get hit with anything, I die. And not anymore. Okay. So the Vermont. Okay. What's happening now? We are We have a ship advantage. And that's just about it. This fucker. Okay. Die! Okay. You do not concentrate fire on me and get away with it. But usually they do. Okay, so time to bully this lava for a little bit. I think we go like here. Okay, can I nab this one? No, I cannot. Just wait for him to... There we go. Okay. Not the best showing, but hey, it's a start. Okay, that was some good angles. Okay. Not gonna lie. Okay. Okay, so hopefully. Okay, not bad. Okay, so I think I should lean it in towards the end a little. And I have my second heal off. Okay. Does it land? No. Okay. So we're winning on caps, we're winning on ships. We dominated this game. It's just such a shame that our range ran away. Okay, I don't have a clear shot on this guy. I'd be taking it if I had. Okay, time to move on. Yeah, at least I tanked the shots earlier and the planes earlier. Really wouldn't have gone all that well for our team if somebody else ate those shots. Because even on a smaller hull, like on the Mecklenburg, I'm still a tank. Okay, how did the Yoyang Shimakase duel go on? I really didn't pay much attention to that. I have to watch the replays, probably. And also, good job on our 2501. No, what am I doing? Yoyang, it's a compliment too. Plays well, yeah. And I get my third heal off. Thankfully, yeah. Okay, so hopefully I'm not too late for the party. Really want to get a shot in on this orange. Ah, it's too late. Okay. But that's fine, we're winning. Okay, that's where the fucker is, okay. Hi there. I bet you're going running this way. Did you? No, not really. Okay. Okay, that's the problem with the 2501. When your side collapses, when your flank collapses, like it did for our enemy 2501, it really starts falling apart really fast. The 2501 has tremendously long range for a submarine, like 14 kilometers, and that's nothing to scoff at. 22 kilometers, like what I'm on with my Mecklenburg, is basically sniping range now. But on something like a submarine, where you can just draw out six 14-kilometer torpedoes, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, few hits in, not bad. Okay, we won. Okay. 14 kilometers on a torpedo, that's a lot. And the problem is the 2501 isn't the
指揮官
fastest submarine
よく
in
や
the
ったわ
game,
ね
either
ご
surfaced
褒美欲
or
しい
submerged. So there's that for the end. Okay, even though I tanked. Wait, who tanked? Oh, okay, not bad. Okay, I, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. Uh, yeah. Okay, so thank you for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Hopefully, I'm new to the game. I've only been streaming for 2 weeks now, so yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Like and subscribe, and thanks for your time. See you on the next stream.